Hi, my name is Dr Emma Svanberg and I'm a clinical psychologist. I work with parents and parents-to-be to support them along their parenting journey. One of the things that has become more common in the parents that I speak to is this wish to break cycles. So what does that mean? It means to parent in a way that is different from the way that we were parented ourselves. It's so common, in fact, that I'd say it's become a modern parenting goal for lots of parents, and I wonder if that's something that resonates with you. However, breaking cycles is something that is really easier said than done, and I'm going to spend a bit of time with you today just thinking about what it means to break cycles, what it is that we're actually asking of ourselves, and I'm going to ask you a few questions just to get you thinking about what this might mean in your life. Often, when we want to break cycles in our parenting, it's based on experiences that we had as children that we don't want to repeat for our own children. So perhaps we had a parent that shouted at us a lot, or maybe they gave us the cold shoulder when they were unhappy with us. Or maybe there are particular events or incidents that really come to mind when you think about parenting experiences that you had that you don't want to repeat as a parent now. However, what we can often then do is that we really focus on the things that we don't want to repeat, and we don't really think very much about the things that we do want to do instead. This can leave us feeling a little bit vague about what it is that we're actually aiming to do as parents, and we can often end up feeling a bit disappointed when we're not breaking cycles in the way that we feel like we should. So, if you are hoping to parent a bit differently to the way that you were raised, here's a few questions to help you think about what that might look like for you. So our first step here is just spending a bit of time thinking about what this actually means for you. You might want to pause this video and go and get yourself a pen and a piece of paper, or just take some notes on your phone so that you can really solidify what it is that we're talking about here. So I'm going to ask you 4 questions. First of all, a really big one. What do you remember about your own childhood? If you were to sum it up in 3 or 4 words, what would those words be? Do you have any particular significant memories about ways that your parents responded to you? If nothing really comes to mind, you might want to think about how your parents might have responded when you were unwell, or perhaps when you did something that you weren't supposed to do. What sort of things would have commonly happened? And last of all, what was the general atmosphere like at home? And what was the impact of all of that on you? You might want to take your time with this. Again, you can pause this video or come back to it later, think it all over, either writing it down for yourself or talking it over with somebody that you trust. Next, let's think about what you might want to do differently. So if you bring back to mind some of those memories or incidents that you thought about before, if they were to happen to your child or something similar, how would you like to respond as a parent? What would that look like? You might want to imagine that for a moment. Even get it really firmly in your mind and think about how you might be feeling, what you might be doing, what that might look like if you were a fly on the wall watching. And what 3 or 4 words would you like to use to describe what childhood is like or will be like for your child? Is there anything that you need to get in place to support you in helping you to get there? And what would you like your child to remember about their childhood? What sort of atmosphere do you want them to experience at home? I just want to add in here that when we're talking about breaking cycles or things that we'd like to do differently as parents, it's very common that the main emotion that comes up for us is shame or regret, particularly if we've already parented in ways that we really wish we hadn't, which is obviously a very common experience. But I just want to remind you that we're not going to break cycles easily, and maybe not even in our lifetime. But what we can do as parents is just take small steps to develop and learn in ways that help us to parent in the way that we want to, understanding that it's always going to be imperfect and that this is all a learning process. We are learning and changing all the time, and our children are learning and developing too. So rather than breaking a cycle, we might just bend it a little bit in our parenting journey with this particular child. Before we finish, let's also reflect on some of the things that you might have had in your childhood that you do want to repeat in your parenting experiences now. What are some of the memories that you have of things that you really hope that your child will also experience? Is there anything that you feel really lucky to have experienced in childhood? or any even little things that your parents did that just made you feel loved or cared for or nurtured. Just take a moment to get some of those things firmly in your mind and think about whether there's anything that you would like to introduce now into your child's life that you've really enjoyed about your own childhood. This is a really big topic to cover in a few minutes, so if there's anything that you would like to learn more about, please do have a look on the Your Baby Club website to find more information. Bye for now.